Dr. Prasad. Hello, everybody. Tonight is going to be an absolutely fantastic night. We've got Dr. Prasad and myself. We're going to be presenting a information extravaganza on Omega. We haven't done this since we launched the Omega well over a year ago, and Omega is one of our core 4 products. Dr. Prasad, are you here? Have we got Dr. Prasad? Yes, we do. Hello, Dr. Prasad.
Okay, I'm here.
There you go. Are you ready, Dr. Prasad?
Yes, sir.
I know this is one of your core 4 products. You've been lecturing all over the world,
Well, yeah, that's right.
right? You're going to be doing another lecture, and so we'll be talking about that. But tonight is our opportunity to talk to the Engage family. Dr. Prasad, move your camera up just a little bit. We're cutting the top of, there you go. Perfect. We want to be able to see the full Dr. Prasad.
Okay.
Well, Dr. Prasad, tonight we are going to talk about one of the core 4 products.
Yes.
The Omega. And so we've got a lot of people jumping in right now. So we're going to give it just another minute or two and then get started.
No rush.
Dr. Prasad, why don't we just real quickly touch on the core 4? We won't be talking too much about them tonight, but why have you determined that these 4 products are the foundation for optimal health? And let's just start with EM Micro Daily or Micro Daily EMF. Why is that a core 4 product for you?
Because that is the only product which can increase both the antioxidant enzymes and the antioxidant compound, which are essential for reducing oxidative stress and inflammation. And these 2 phenomena, oxidative stress and inflammations, initiate and promote almost all human diseases.
And so
aging and human disease.
Okay, so the Micro Daily, that's the really a foundational product for healthy aging, also boosting your immune system.
Yes.
Helping your body repair, like I fell and broke my ankle in December and healed up very quickly.
Because they're all linked with the inflammation, extreme oxidative stress, and they are the only one which can do both at the same time.
Okay, so the Micro Daily is a core 4. Now let's talk about the probiotic. I know this is a product that
again, the surprising thing is that probiotics also contributes to the initiation and progression of all human diseases, including cancer.
Okay.
And therefore, and the reason is because it produces, when we say intestinal dysbiosis, they produce intestinal dysbiosis, produces a lot of pro-inflammatory cytokines that damage all cells in your body. And probiotics and prebiotics is the only agent that we have which can reverse both the harmful effect of intestinal dysbiosis and therefore improve the efficacy of micronutrient the EMF that we have further down in terms of not only in prevention of the age, reducing the rate of the aging, of providing a good quality of life during aging, but also reduce the risk of almost all human chronic diseases. And not only that, in combination with current therapy that we are used for any disease, they improve their effectiveness.
So isn't I think it's Hippocrates, he said that all health begins in the gut, right?
Right, exactly.
And so the
father of the medicine, that nobody,
father of medicine,
that no medical doctor follows it.
But I know that you agree that a healthy gut is really critical for micronutrition and
because otherwise you can't absorb. If your healthy gut is not there, the absorption will be very poor.
And so you like
sometime in older people, I also recommend digestive boost, because as you grow older, with or without disease, your body capacity to produce digestive enzyme is reduced, and you have to supplement this. but not in all individual, only when you are older.
Yes, yes. And I know for me, digestive enzymes and probiotic are two of my
They
favorites.
must, for me too.
It just means that when I eat, I'm more comfortable. I have less
Yes,
byproducts of food. So you like to say that the basics is probiotics and micro daily. If anyone is going to only choose two products, it's those two.
yes,
All right.
yes, yes.
All right, but we're going to continue on to the core four. The next one would be the collagen. And so
Yeah,
collagen fills a very big area in our human health. How much of the human body is collagen?
30% of total body protein that your body has is collagen. That means it present in all organs, ear, brain, heart, kidney, you name it, every place. And so if you lose collagen, you can detect in your skin, get
Yes.
lesion, but you don't know what is happening in the brain, heart, kidney, but they are also reducing. And one of the major function of collagen, collagen is to maintain the structural integrity of all organ and thereby their function. So, and there was demonstration that a people, average individual adult without any disease, at the age of 56, they did MRI on them, and they found that brain, certain area of brain was shrinking. And they also started suffering from memory loss. So they put on a supplement of collagen peptides for 90 days, and then a structure, they did MRI again, a structure of the brain improved and functional, and they have a more improvement in memory. So it is extremely important for people to have this because people have ignored this. You only worry about the skin.
Well, what I'm hearing you say on the collagen, it's like the I want to say the frame on a house. It's what holds the
Yes,
house up, right?
without that you will fall.
And so what I
Because
hear you saying is, and I know women in particular, myself, I'm going to say I like this too, and that is when you take collagen, you find your skin's more supple, it's more
yes,
moist, it's healthier, and
and also
that's in your hair also, right?
yeah,
But that's
yeah,
your nails, but that's indicative of the rest of your body being healthy. Is that fair to say?
that's correct.
You know, I think of it like a plant. When a plant's happy, its leaves are healthy, its
Yeah,
flowers are
exactly,
beautiful, its
exactly,
roots are
exactly.
strong, right?
Yeah,
So when we have the right amount of collagen, then we can blossom.
yeah,
Well, Dr. Prasad, now we're going to talk about the fourth product of the core four. We're going to talk
right.
about Omega, and we're not going to do just a quick superficial discussion. We're going to do a deep dive. We're going to go into Professor Prasad. So we want to go to
Okay.
Professor Prasad. You know, and this is where I hope everybody appreciates this. You know, Dr. Prasad, you've just lectured in Dubai, Tokyo, is that right?
Yes, and on 20th, I'm lecturing in Barcelona,
Barcelona. And
and
so,
then Berlin on
and,
24th.
and then Berlin. I mean, we're talking world-renowned scientists come together to listen to Dr. Prasad present.
Yep,
Well over 30 years, you taught medical students who were doctors, you taught them
yep,
nutrition, radiation,
yep,
biology,
yep.
cancer. You hosted for over a decade world-renowned, like people like Linus Pauling and others at conventions that you
Yes,
sponsored as president of the National Society for Cancer and Nutrition, correct?
yes,
And here we are. I think of myself. I have the opportunity, we all have the opportunity to sit and learn at the feet of the Michelangelo of micronutrition, the Leonardo da Vinci of human health, the Albert Einstein of science and human health. We get to sit and be pleasure tonight of being educated and enlightened by you. So Dr. Prasad, thank you. And I hope
sure.
everybody can get something positive from today. I know we're going to talk science. We're going to talk some technical things.
Yes,
At Engage, we want to be real. So we're going to present to you as best we can in a way that we hope you can understand our Omega-3 product. This is a product that is currently patent pending. We're working with our patent lawyer to have this patented. We're also working with him to have a patent on our Core 4. This is a unique product. I remember, Dr. Prasad, you've been talking to me Gosh, we started working together 2015, 2016, and ever since
Yes.
then, you've been talking about how important Omega is. And I've said to
Yeah.
you, Dr. Prasad, gosh, a lot of people sell Omegas. To me, it doesn't seem like, they're really that unique. And lo and behold, you came to me and you said, David, I've looked at the market, I've looked at all these other products, and what I have found is the market in general is pursuing a low cost strategy and not a high effectiveness strategy. And so you came to me with a proposal, a
Yes.
formulation that changes the whole mindset of how omegas and omega-3s are presented. So Dr. Prasad, I want to once again thank you and congratulate you on unlocking some secrets, or how about unlocking some unique ways of delivering human health. And omega-3
Exactly.
is another
Exactly.
one of those products. So
Yeah.
I'm super excited to talk about this tonight. What we want to talk about is, this is a challenge that we all have, and that is we are all getting older. If you all can believe it, Dr. Prasad is 90 years old, going on 91.
Yes.
I certainly hope that when I am your age, that I am as robust, as energetic, and as healthy as you are. And I think I have a good chance because I've seen how you live
Yep.
and how the products that we sell are the products that you and your family take, and they're the foundation of your health.
Yep.
So the challenge is we're all getting older. And as we get older, our bodies require extra support to maintain our health and perform at our best. And on our
Yep.
journey of life, we have experiences and we have times when our bodies are just not where they need to be. And an essential fatty acid like an omega-3 plays a vital role in aging healthy and being healthy on a daily basis.
Yep.
And here's the unique thing about omegas, Dr. Prasad. Our bodies can't produce it. Is that correct? We have to consume it.
That's correct.
So this is like fertilizer for a plant. A plant needs the nutrients to be fed to it. We need our essential fatty acids, these omega-3s. We need to get them in our diet.
Yes. But
Go ahead, Dr. Prasad.
But diet doesn't have sufficient amount until you take every day fish or salmon. So if you're taking a vegetarian diet, you only produce one of the component called ALA, and that rate of conversion from ALA to DHA, which is one of the omega-3, is very, very slow. Eventually they get there, but it's extremely slow. That's why
So,
supplement is more important than diet. Diet also you take once in a while. I take not every day, but I take salmon, I take fish, but that's not sufficient.
well, and we're going to talk about some statistics that are just, to me, like really a fire alarm going off, especially in America.
Yep.
Want to add one additional benefit that I absolutely love about the Omega, in our micro daily and in some of our other products like Eye Boost and Brain Boost and Digestive Ends, other of our products, we have fat soluble nutrients. That means they need to can be consumed with oil. And so
Yes.
by taking the omega-3, we are providing our body the oil that the fat that our bodies need to attach those micronutrients, those fat soluble micronutrients, right, Dr. Prasad?
That's correct.
So I love the omega. It's a multi-purpose opportunity. Now,
Right.
let's talk about this fire alarm that's going off in America and much of the world. And this is, we now have the ability to test our omega, just like they test vitamin D levels and other elements of your blood. We have the ability to test our omega-3 index. And the omega-3 index represents the percent of DHA and EPA in fatty acids in the membrane of our blood cells. So we can test and find out where our blood cells are at. And I've done this test, and I'll talk a little bit about it. So has a few of our executives that engage, and some of our affiliates have done this too. But we've tested it, and here's what we know is an index of 8% or more is associated with lower risk of heart disease. An index of 4 to 8% is associated with the intermediate risk of heart disease, and an index of less than 4% is associated with a high risk of heart disease. So this is super important for me because my family has a history of heart disease. So I want to make sure my omega levels are in that super safe, healthy range because for me, it could be a matter of life or death. But here's the thing that's the fire alarm. Dr. Prasad, as you and I have looked at the data, 90% of our US population is deficient in omega-3 and 80% are below 4%. What does that say? I mean, the average in the United States is 3.5 to 4%. What does that say to you?
That that contributes to the poor health and all kind of chronic illness and national cost and
Now,
poor quality of life.
this is interesting to me. Europe is like America. China is slightly better, but look at Japan at 8 to 10%.
Yep, because they eat a lot of fish.
Japan is at 8 to 10%. Now, their optimal health is 8%. So now in the US, we're not getting the amount of fish they do in Japan. But like Dr. Prasad said, we can take omega-3 daily. And I'm going to talk a little bit about some results from that. So we want to talk about omega-3 daily that Dr. Prasad has formulated. It's designed to tackle all numerous health challenges head on. It provides essential omega-3 and omega-6 fatty acids. It supports healthy aging, brain health, heart wellness, cognitive function, immune system. And I love this. It helps my endocannabinoid defense system, which
Yeah,
enhances the effectiveness of my CBD. So now when I'm taking my CBD, I'm feeling supercharged, Dr. Prasad.
yeah, because you are improving the endocannabinoid system from both way, from CBD as well as by different mechanism, as well as by omega-3.
So the omega-3 is like it is like the supercharger of optimal health. It's a foundational, like we talked about, collagen is the frame of the body. The
Yeah,
omega-3, I'm going to say it's like the heating and air conditioning system of the body, meaning that if we don't have it, our body's going to start to break down because
exactly.
the body isn't going to be getting what it needs to support that framework of good health.
Yep.
Now, Dr. Prasad, we're going to talk about the science. Let's going to get into this. So why don't you talk about I'm going to talk about the features of the omega-3, and then you're going to talk some more specifics. So
Okay.
the omega-3, it's rich in essential fatty acids, omega-3 and 6. As we discussed, your body cannot produce these on their own. And diet is the only other source of getting it, and we are not getting it. So now omega-3 delivers high concentrations of DHA, EPA, and ALA from responsibly sourced freshwater fish. So this is another important thing we're going to talk about. You need wild-caught fish to get your omegas. And it also has an ideal amount of GLA, which is derived from flax and borage seeds. This is where Dr. Prasad has put a unique combination together that's really going to that's being powerful in helping people with their health. This product it's a precise formulation. So Dr. Prasad has worked very carefully in getting the ratios right using a CQF combination quantity and form, and it's designed to support a healthy inflammatory response and your overall wellness. So Dr. Prasad, your omega-3 is there to promote a healthy heart, healthy brain,
Yep.
healthy inflammation response, healthy mind, cognitive function, healthy immune system, and once again, the endocannabinoid system. So this is a product that touches multiple facets of your health.
Yep.
So Dr. Prasad, why don't you talk about what you've done? Like, as you looked at the market, the DHA levels in most products were significantly deficient and the ratio with EPA was backwards. So why don't you talk about these different
Yeah.
ingredients?
Because DHA is the reason 2-to-1 ratio, and clinically it has been tested that is very important for brain function as well as the heart function. And so we decided to have a ratio of 2-to-1, and you can see we have 2-to-1 ratio. ALA, which you get from the diet, I said, alpha linolenic acid, conversion to DHA is very slow, and therefore you have to have, but if you have a supplement, at least you have provided some measure. And then you have a gamma, which is omega-6, gamma linolenic acid. And this is very important to remember that this is absolutely essential together with omega-3, but in a smaller amount. Because if you give a higher amount, many times preparation has a very high amount of GLA, and that is a pro-inflammatory, not anti-inflammatory. And since omega-3 is easily oxidized by free radicals, we added it to preserve the capsule, efficacy of the capsule. We added a D-alpha tocopherol form, not the other form, because this is the form that can be immediately available to trap any free radical that might be around.
Okay, so I want to just talk about this because this right here is pure genius, and you're not going to see these ratios in any other product. And I
Yeah.
want people to really understand that what Dr. Prasad talked about was the clinical science has clearly shown the DHA to EPA ratio is more effective when it's 2 to 1 DHA to
Yes.
EPA. Is that what I heard you say, Dr. Prasad?
Yeah. And this supported by the fact that 40% of fatty acid in your brain, 40% of fatty acid, which is membrane. As you know, brain has a lot of membranous structure, and membrane has also a lot of fatty acid. And so 40% of fatty acid in the membrane of the brain is DHA. That's why you need that kind of ratio, at least 2 to 1. Because if you put a reverse, then brain won't get affected, brain function won't get as much as affected as if you have give higher level of DHA than EPA.
Now, Dr. Prasad, I want people to understand why the market has done it this way. When
Yeah.
we went to formulate this, the DHA is significantly more expensive
Oh, I didn't
than
know that.
the EPA. And so
Hmm.
the reason is what the market, when they're selling you a omega-3 product, they can market it as omega-3 when it has EPA and EPA.
Yeah.
And so they're selling you the lower cost
I see.
omega-3 and marketing as omega-3, and it's just like, oh, we're going to improve the omega-3, but they're not providing you the essential, the real critical amount, which is the DHA, and they're ignoring the science of you want a 2 to 1 ratio. So Dr. Prasad, is simply companies trying to make more money by using lower cost ingredients.
Yeah, but see, when I formulate it, I don't pay attention to the cost.
I know you. Well, I can vouch for that because Dr. Prasad will come to me and say, Dave, this is it. And I can tell you the Omega is one where we're like, can we adjust the DHA because the price is coming in really expensive, Dr. Prasad. And he's like, David, that's one where there is no compromise. It's a 2 to 1 ratio, and the DHA has to be. So this is something that sets our omega-3 apart. In
Yep.
addition, Dr. Prasad, I really want we're going to talk. We're going to talk more about it a little later, but I really want to zero in on this. The GLA, which stimulates the omega-6 in the body, right? So it
Yeah,
produces.
it is called also omega-6. Yeah.
Okay, so you and I talked about, and we're going to talk more about it, but let's just people need to understand is it's important to have some omega-6, but if you have too
Yes.
much omega-6, it creates inflammation on its own, correct?
Right. That's correct.
So
And
this is one.
low amount reduces inflammation.
So this is one where more is not always better. And so Dr.
Right.
Prasad has put 30 milligrams in there, knowing that you can do 2, 3, 4 capsules and you're still well within the range of
Right.
toxic, but you
Hmm.
still need to have that omega-6. So he's
Right.
really done that. Now I want the vitamin E. So I want people to understand the reason the vitamin E is in there is it's to help the omega from oxidizing, right? It
That's
helps.
correct.
It
And it is
helps.
important to add in a alpha tocopherol form because if you add a alpha tocopherol acetate form, it's not going to work. It's very important.
So Dr. Prasad has added vitamin E to help the purity of your omega-3 when you take it be there. So you're getting what you want. So it hasn't oxidized and become less effective.
Effective. Yeah.
So this is a simple formulation, but it's
Yeah.
not. And this is why when Dr. Prasad first said to me, David, we need, people need an omega-3. I'm like, well, we can't do something that's already not, I mean, people are already doing this. And Dr. Prasad, you came back to me, you looked at dozens and dozens and dozens of different products. You're like, David, nobody is doing it right. Nobody is doing it right.
Yep.
So for me, this was that was all the convincing I needed, and omega-3 was born.
Yep.
Why don't you talk about the importance, Dr. Prasad, of polyunsaturated fatty acids?
Well, saturated fatty acid is very, what do you call, not good for you because that can cause all kind of inflammation, and that's why it is unsaturated fatty acid. But saturated fat is like a butter. Butter is a saturated fatty acid.
So
That
you don't want saturated, but you want unsaturated.
unsaturated one, yeah,
Yes. And so the omega is an unsaturated.
unsaturated fatty
So
acid, yeah,
this is, I want people to know, like we're worried about, oh, fatty acids. It's the saturated fatty acids that we're worried about, but the
right.
polyunsaturated fatty acids, which is
Very important for your
omega-3
health.
and omega-6,
Yeah.
these are essential. They
Yes.
are the healthy ones.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, so all right, I wanted to make sure people understood that. Now, let's talk about the types of omega-3 fatty acids. There's three types: ALA, DHA, and EPA. You
Yeah.
already talked a lot about the DHA. Why don't you explain a little more the ALA and EPA, Dr. Prasad, and
Yeah.
how they
LLA
work?
is get around. If you are vegetarian diet, you will get a alpha linolenic acid or ALA. But it is converted to DHA and EPA is very slow. Eventually, they increases it. That's why. But it is not sufficient amount to have your brand sufficient amount of
Okay,
DHA.
so I want to jump on that. So am I hearing you say that people that are going on a purely vegan diet thinking they're getting the
Yeah.
essential fatty acids, they're not?
No, they are not getting it.
Because
Getting
ALA is
ALA.
converted so inefficiently and so slowly.
Yes, but so that means their brain would be not very, as you get older, it won't be as functional and might have a late a brain problem in terms of memory loss.
Let me ask you, so you have included ALA in our omega-3. Why did you do that?
Because it is ALA is still important, for example, for your heart disease. This is very important. And also it provides a precursor of DHA EPA. So by itself is important, but also it provides a precursor, act as a precursor of DHA and EPA, even though it is slowly.
So your perspective is by adding ALA, it's
Booster, yeah,
like a
exactly.
booster to the DHA and EPA you have.
That's correct.
Okay. We talked about DHA representing 40% of brain fatty acids. We talked about how important that is. Now, EPA represents only 1% of the brain fatty acids. So why did you include the EPA in?
Because EPA is also very important for heart disease.
Okay. So DHA is going to be it's going to be the more effective
Brain.
for brain, and EPA is for the heart.
Yeah, so EPA ratio would be if you measure it, same formulation, but it will go, EPA goes to the heart much more than it will go to the brain. And so you
Okay.
will see the reverse. In heart, you will see more EPA than DHA.
Now, Dr. Prasad, I want to talk a little bit about fish. So down here, we talk about cold water fatty fishes such as salmon are very rich in EPA and DHA, but they do not make EPA DHA. Rather, these fatty acids are made in the algae. So
Yeah,
in order to get the omega-3 and 6s that or the omega-3s that we need from fish, we need to have fish that are eating algae. Is that correct?
that's correct. That's correct.
Now, you said something really interesting to me earlier, and I've heard a lot about the farm-raised fish and how, it's just not as good as wild fish, which I agree. I've had farm-raised salmon, I've had the wild salmon, and my son is a fishing guide in Alaska, so we eat a lot. We just caught some king salmon, which is my favorite salmon. But you talked about how farm-raised fish don't have a lot of DHA or EPA because they're not eating algae, they're eating fish
Yeah,
food.
yeah, they are eating some other things, but not the algae, which are rich in a omega 3.
So we want people to understand that if you're supplementing your diet with fish, consuming fish that eat algae and wild caught fish is you're
So
very
buy,
strongly opinionated that it's much healthier for you.
yeah, so make sure to buy a wild caught fishes, salmon, or any kind of fish.
Okay. Oops. So now omega-3 and omega-6. So as we explained, both of them are polyunsaturated fatty acids. They're healthy.
Yes,
High doses of omega-3 can reduce and promote the reduction of chronic inflammation.
yes,
Low doses of omega-6 can also help reduce chronic inflammation, which we talked about how omega-6
yeah.
is low in lower levels is very effective.
Important. Yeah.
But high doses enhances chronic inflammation. So you've added the GLA in low amounts.
Yes.
Are you comfortable as we talk about, and we're going to talk a little bit about dosing, if someone takes 2, 4, maybe 6 omegas a day, you don't see any
But
problem?
also, no, it is not because the omega-3 is so overwhelming in reducing oxidative stress
Okay.
that any contribution which can made by high doses of a omega-6 would not affect their health.
Okay. So we're going to talk about dosing a little later. I just want people to understand comfortably how you formulated it so there's no safety issues. Um, you've also talked about there's some ratios that matter, like we talked about 2-to-1 DHA to EPA. The ratio of omega-3 to
No,
omega,
in this case, Western diet had the DHA or omega-3 versus omega-6.
and so the Western diet, the ratio is 1-to-10, while the ratio of 1-to-4 is considered adequate.
Yeah, because omega-6, they figured out that, 4 times more than omega-3 will be okay.
Okay.
So there is no toxicity issue that you were talking about.
Omega-3 is also an important part of our cell membranes and our cell receptors. Like Dr. Prasad, when we see cell receptors, I was just thinking about GLP-1 boost that we just launched.
No, but the receptors are for every organ in the body has receptors. And so they have their own receptor, like serotonin receptor, dopamine receptors, many types of receptors.
Well, so what I'm hearing you say here is our body functions to a large degree on our receptors and the health of our
Right?
receptors.
That's correct.
And you're saying the omega-3 is a critical nutrient for our receptor health.
Yes, yes, definitely.
And would you say that a lot of our health challenges are because we don't have healthy receptors?
Exactly true. Because they don't have good, so therefore, plus, but those things, membrane get easily oxidized. So if you don't do anything to reduce oxidative stress, it is, you are, they get renewed, but you are getting a terrible mess in brain function later on.
Well, I'm just going to throw a little GLP testimonial. So, like, I went on the GLP. My goal was to lose about 15 pounds. I've been on it for a little over 2 months. I've lost 10 pounds, but I do the core. I've lost over 10 pounds, but I do the core four. Plus, I do the
Yes.
GLP. So the omega and the collagen are helping my GLP be more effective.
Yeah, but especially collagen, because collagen has the enzyme which inhibits DPP4, which destroys which destroys the GLP-1
Okay, okay. And we talked about omega-3 supporting the endocannabinoid system,
system. Yeah,
your CBD receptors, CB1 and CB2. And so
that's great.
I just love this omega product. I love it so much. Just one second here. Okay. So reminder of the benefits of omega. It lowers it can promote the lowering of chronic inflammation. It promotes improvement of your heart. It supports immune function, supports brain function.
Yes.
It supports arthritis symptoms, meaning it's gonna help you fight arthritis. We're gonna talk about that. Eye function, I mean, my eyes have gotten better and better on the omega and the eye boost. Helps fetal brain development, Dr. Prasad. That's interesting. So you're saying pregnant mothers should be taking the omega?
Oh, definitely, because this is so important, like your brain function and development issue also very important because
Now
it
you,
lowers inflammation and anything interfere with the development. I think you see that omega-3 is very good for them.
so now also you've talked here about it can support the lowering of depression. How does that happen? How does the
Yeah,
omega affect that?
yeah, the depression because the omega-3 also through the endocannabinoid system increases the serotonin level in your brain and then lower the not only depression but also lower anxiety.
What an amazing supplement. Now, omega-3 and PTSD, Dr. Prasad, why don't you?
Yeah, I'm writing a paper. It will take another week or two to complete it. But it is fantastic to find out the role of omega-3. Several studies have reported that omega-3 can facilitate fear extinction, means you don't have any fear, by inducing the formation of a new neuron in the hippocampus region of the brain, because
Wow.
that's the region which controls the memory. And this is just the, I gave the reference. So there are many aspects of PTSD. Omega-3 has been at least 6 or 7 papers supporting that omega-3 can help improve the PTS syndrome, which is a fear, anxiety, depression, suicidal tendency, and all kind of problem that you hear every day. And it is not only in troops, because civilians are also exposed to accidental trauma, death of the family, death of a friend.
Well, I know, Dr. Prasad, you and I have PTSD. We both have lost a son.
I know. Really, I had for a long time, I had to go to the psychiatrist. But I
Well,
was taking at the same time these things, so that helped me. That helped me to did never develop full-fledged symptoms of. But I had anxiety, I had depression, but they came out from that very nicely.
well, Dr. Prasad, you and I have both had the challenges, and I will say at 90, almost 91, you are one of the most peaceful, joyful, kind, authentic people I know. So,
Thank you.
and I know it's not I know the products have helped you become that kind of a man. So thank you
Yeah,
for being an example of that.
yeah.
Now, also you talk about omega-3 in arthritis.
Yes, several papers were supporting that people who were taking these omega-3 in combination with the anti-inflammatory medications, they did much, much better than just on the anti-inflammatory agent. So combination would have was very helpful, and by itself also prevented and attenuated arthritis in experimental model. But there was a trial, human trial, where they combined anti-inflammatory medication with omega-3 and found it is safe and improved the symptoms of rheumatoid arthritis and osteoarthritis.
So, that makes sense to me based on what we've just been discussing about, meaning
Because
that
yeah,
if you're taking, I mean, this is an essential fatty acid. If your body is at the in those healthier levels of 8% or higher, your body's gonna work with whatever, prescriptions you're using to help fight
yeah,
arthritis better. You're just going to be
exactly.
better. Just like I broke my ankle and I healed better. You
Yeah,
struggle with arthritis, you're gonna have less struggle if your body is. It's like giving your body the ammunition it needs to fight.
yes,
It makes so much sense, and you're saying the science supports that.
supports that. Yeah.
Let's talk about brain health. You talk about omega-3 is an important part of the cell membrane. Now you
Hmm.
talk about oxidative stress is highly damaging to our cell membrane.
Yeah.
So how does supplementing omega-3 help that?
Because the omega-3 gets damaged. Once they get oxidized by free radicals, they become dysfunctional. So it cannot function. So if omega-3, it replaces the damaged omega-3 in the brain and support healthy brain functions. Very simple. It is these are so common sense phenomena nobody has paid attention to, because if you are older or with or without disease, you have a high oxidative environment. And if you have a disease, you have really much higher oxidative environment. And oxidate and the omega-3, because it is a fatty acid, it is easily damaged by free radicals. Then it becomes dysfunctional.
So what you're saying is our body, the omega is being damaged. So by replacing the omega, we're keeping our body
Yes, exactly. Functional.
properly supported with the omega.
Exactly, exactly.
It's kind of like if I don't eat, I get hungry. If I get
Yeah.
hungry, I start to get weak. If I get weak, I'm more
Right.
susceptible to. So it's like if I'm taking my omega every day, I'm replenishing my
That's
body
right. Yeah,
and the omega that it
yeah,
needs. So this
that's
is
right.
another reason why twice a day, every day is so critical to
Yep,
maintaining good health.
yep.
I know you were really excited about it. Are you going to be lecturing on omega
Yes,
thyroid?
yes, on 20th and 24th.
And you're going to be doing it in Barcelona, you said?
One Barcelona, one in Berlin.
Wow. I mean, Dr. Prasad, you're amazing. I mean, I couldn't get invited to these conventions if I wanted to. So it's pretty neat that I get to have you as a friend and a partner, and that our engaged community gets to be benefit of having you here. So talk about Alzheimer's. This is something that we're all, I mean, frankly, this is
Yeah,
something
we are all of,
we need to be worried about.
and also that there is no prevention strategy. So the incidence of Alzheimer's is increasing all over the world, including USA.
Wow.
So because there is no prevention strategy, but we have with the core four, we are introducing a prevention strategy by core four, and in combination with diet, good diet, I will always say, but nobody follows it.
Yeah.
That's the whole thing. Human behavior is such that nobody follows, no matter how many times. We are talking about, for example, EMF radiation is very harmful. That people are paying attention, except few? No. And so that we cannot control, but we can protect against them by taking appropriate nutrient. Same way is here. So you can see that the risk of the Alzheimer disease is increasing, and it has been shown in studies, research. Long-term consumption of omega-3 reduces the risk of Alzheimer dementia by 64%. That's amazing. It also reduces the level of beta amyloid, which is the protein that initiates Alzheimer's disease. A regular consumption of omega-3 reduce the decline in memory of older healthy individual as well as individual who has Alzheimer's disease. That's amazing function of omega-3. And these are the references that I collected from. So this is not my idea. These are all reported in scientific literature.
Well, this is what I love about what you educate us on, and that is you're interacting with the brightest and the most cutting edge scientists in the world, and you're reading their research and you're lecturing with them, and you're bringing that to us. So I mean, like I look at here's a paper published in 2023. I mean,
Yeah.
this is very, very recent stuff. So this isn't just Dr. Prasad's opinion. This is
No, exactly. All the things that are presented is based on science. Nothing is my personal opinion. My
right.
personal opinion is that you use a core four for because of all this data. You use core four for your optimal health.
And then we get a lift to 90, 91 like you. That's what I want. Well, let's talk about the function of alpha linolic ALA. There's some additional benefits. We talked about why you've included it, but there's a couple of other things here that
Yeah,
ALA has some benefits about.
yeah. For example, if you're vegetarian, you will have a ALA, and it prevents a stroke, reduced post-stroke or stroke injury, which is again very damaging to your brain. Increased brain-derived growth factor, or BDNF, they call it, which improves the learning ability and memory function. That's a very important function of ALA. Reduces formation of plaque in the carotid artery. That's very important for heart. Repair damage of the blood-brain barrier. That means all nutrients that you are eating can go inside your brain very nicely. Improve function of blood-brain barrier is same. If it is healthy, then it will be your brain would be very functional. Restore DHA level in the brain. If that's right, correct.
So
Restore not fully. I will say that not restores, but I will say that improve the DHA level in the brain, not
okay.
restore 100%, because this rate of conversion is very, very slow.
But what I'm seeing here is the alpha linolic acid interacts with the body in a way unique from what EPA
Yes,
features.
yes. So this has unique function too. So each of the component, EPA, ALA, and the DHA, has some unique function.
And the GLA, Dr. Prasad.
GLA is also important. Yeah, that's the one we
So
added.
really, any omega should tackle all four areas.
Yes,
Any
that's
of
some
them.
unique function.
And
Yeah,
very, very, very few, if any of them do. None of them like what we have.
yeah, exactly.
So we talked about the DHA EPA ratio of 2 to 1. We talk about improving brain function, helping in depression, helping with cholesterol, helping with good and bad cholesterol, supporting healthier blood pressure and a healthier heart.
Yes.
That ratio is the key to getting the maximum
All these
benefit.
function both in brain as well as the heart. Yes.
So just so people know that the EPA, DHA, these are fish based, so these are animal based, wild fish caught. The ALA is plant based, as Dr. Prasad,
Yeah.
walnut, flax seeds, soybeans, pumpkin seeds, and we have a plant based ALA. Dose dependent function of omega-6.
Yes.
The GLA is an omega-6 fatty acid. It's an essential. We talked about it. It's essential for our growth and survival. Lower doses reduce chronic inflammation and nerve pain. Higher doses can increase it. And so you've talked about how you've got it in a ratio that's proper and safe for everyone.
Exactly.
Now I want to talk just about the stability of the omega-3 and its soft gel capsule. This product needs to be stored at room temperature. We want to avoid heat. And so what I will say is in super hot summer environments, if it's shipped and gets left in a mailbox too long, or if it gets left in a truck too long, it can be damaged.
Yeah.
And you want it to be dark. So what we want to do is store it in a room temperature, 70 degrees or less, and it won't lose its potency. It has vitamin E, like Dr. Prasad said, to prevent oxidation in the presence of light and air. So it's okay for short periods in light and air, but we want to keep it in a dark. It's in a dark container already. Keep it in a cool place. At higher temperatures, these soft gels can be liquefied and they can become rancid. So at Engage, go ahead, Dr. Prasad.
No, I said with respect to vitamin E, I want to emphasize that you don't add the vitamin E succinate or vitamin E acetate because they don't function. They would not be trapping free radicals, which are the major cause of the damage to the omega-3. So
Yes.
that's why we added a alpha tocopherol form, not alpha tocopherol acetate or succinate.
So what I want to say is we're coming into the hot summer season. Occasionally we have customers that get their omega-3 and for whatever reason it got left in a mailbox or in a very hot environment for too long. Just call customer service, we'll get you a new bottle. I want people to know that at Engage, we're about bringing health and goodness to the world. And on those, I'm going to send they're rare circumstances, but on those rare circumstances, if you open up the bottle and it's liquefied or rancid because of heat, send it to us and we would be more than happy to refund or to send you a new bottle. At Engage, we want you healthy, we want you happy.
Yes.
So I'm going to move on. We've talked a lot about this. I want to talk about the omega-3 sources. So the sources of our fish.
Yeah.
Our fish come from Peru, Chile, Morocco, and South Africa, mostly from Peru. And also Ecuador.
Excuse me.
Don't have Ecuador there, but also Ecuador. The species that we use that are used for the omega, they're fresh caught anchovies, which are the Engralidae family, mackerel, bluefish, pilotfish, fish with a forked tail. They're high in omegas, and also the Clupidae family, which includes herring and shad. And so these are the sources. Most of the high quality fish oil that is available to us and manufacturers throughout the world come from three, maybe four. There's a fourth one that's a little more minor, but three major producers of fish oil. So we get super high quality fish oil. You can know that it's as good as any oil in the world. Now, Dr. Prasad, there's a product out there called Omega XL. We've had some affiliates who've been associated with that.
Yeah.
Their claim to fame is they use a green-lipped mussel, which is a shellfish for their omega. That's been tested to be very low in DHA and EPA, and you've also done a little research on it. What would you like to share about?
Yeah, I think this is very interesting because they are selling on TV commercial. You may have seen it, and they claim this green. What was the name for the
Green-lipped mussels, yeah.
yeah mussel? But that is a shellfish like mollusk, or even clam. if you eat clam, they are also has a very rich omega-3. So anything which are taking, they eat algae, they will have a omega-3. But when the consumers report tested it, they found consumers lab. We always send. Sometimes we used to send our product for testing, make sure it is pure. It's consumers lab, and sometimes federal government requires then get third party tested. And so we were aware of I'm aware of the consumers lab, but they reported that they found very little omega-3 fatty acid, DHA or EPA. And that means tell you that maybe some of the advantage that, and they were claiming it a joint, it helps the joint pain and muscle pain in marketing. And FDA warned them not to do that. And so, in a commercial market, go on TV, you can sell any junk. But if there is oil, I think they obtain in oil. I don't think they purified like we have a purified so much omega-3 and EPA, but they simply goes in oil, and oil many things could have. I mean, these marine sources of omega-3 also have some other component that might be helpful. So it is not totally waste, but it is not omega-3 that we are talking about today. They may produce some benefit for some people in some area that could be unrelated to omega-3.
Well, what you're really saying, and we're very strongly of strong opinion, and that is you want wild caught, high quality fish for your omega, and that's the best source of omega.
That's right.
And so we talked about wild fish and omega-3 fish get their omega-3 from algae. Farm-raised fish does not contain high levels of omega-3 because they don't eat much algae. And I know you're a big fan of wild salmon, so if you want to
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I
if you want
do.
to eat omegas, wild salmon is a great source, and we're very supportive of that.
Yeah.
I want to talk about dosage. On the bottle, we talk about a dosage of 2, and we recommend 1 in the morning, 1 at night. That's what I've been doing ever since we launched this product. And I just recently had my omega levels tested, and my results were, in fact, here, let's see here. We're gonna, just 1 second, I'm gonna get my
I
results. So,
think
yeah, here we go.
9.5%, I think.
Mine was 9. I don't know if can you see 9.1 here, Dr. Prasad?
Yeah, 9.1, yeah.
9.1. So
You are in good shape.
that was my test results showed a 9.1, and I take 1 in the morning and 1 at night. And so I'm
Yeah.
well above the 8%, which is what we shoot for. I'm going to use an example of Robin Hanson, the president. He takes 1 in the morning, 1 at night, and his results were at like 5.6. So what we know is each individual body absorbs the omega at a different level.
And also, in case of the Robin, I also say, does he take a digestive enzyme?
I am not sure on how much he uses the digestive enzyme. I
First, you
use
have
the
to rule out
digestive
that it is
enzyme.
not absorption issue. First, you have to rule out, and then you say that, okay, then I will increase to 4 capsules a day, 2 in the morning, 2 in the
So
evening.
what I hear you saying, Dr. Prasad, that is as you're taking the omega, if you want to have your levels tested, you can go online. There's lots of companies that'll do a test for you,
Mhm.
and you can do a test. And if you're over 8, you're great.
Right.
If you're under 8 and you're doing 1 or 2 capsules a day, add digestive enzymes to increase effectiveness of absorption. I know that's helped me a lot.
Yeah.
I only do 2. But if you're not getting the level you need, you certainly could go up to 4 capsules a day
Yeah.
and to 1,500. And we're pretty darn confident the vast majority of you will get your omegas over 8 if you'll
Yeah.
take that approach, right, Dr. Prasad?
Yeah. Yeah. I think that should be our goal for nationwide, really.
Well, I mean, 80% of America. Oh my
Yeah.
goodness.
Can you believe that?
Oh
And
my
Europe
goodness.
has same. Europe is same.
It's crazy. Okay. Also want everybody to know that just like all of our products, our omega-3 is third-party tested. It's free from contaminants, heavy metals. And I love it because I took some other omega products. They were bigger gel capsules. I burped up oil. I have zero side effects, and I don't hear a lot of side effects from people who are taking
Yes, I
Omega.
think I used to take in old days some Omega, and from a very respectable company. President was one of at one time my friend. But I used to burp it, and then you see some burning
Yeah,
sensation.
I don't have that with ours, and I don't hear.
But I eat every day.
I just want everybody to know, as with all of our products, third-party tested, high quality, fantastic products. Oops, Dr. Prasad, that's the
Hmm.
end of the presentation. Is there
Okay.
anything you want to say before we put out the big news?
All right. Now
You
something good announcement, something
okay?
happy.
So I will say this: at Engage, we have a philosophy of we never discount our core four.
Yep.
Only way to get a discount on core four products is if you buy them in a bundle. Then we offer obviously substantial savings to someone who's buying the bundle of core four. But individually, we never discount. And so as we're sitting here talking internally, and I'm like, okay, we're gonna do an Omega presentation. We can't do a buy two, get one free with Omega. It's just that runs contrary because our core products are never discounted because we've really lowered the pricing to a place that's about as good as we can get. And we just can't lower these prices on our core four. And we had an idea, Dr. Prasad. We're going to do something tonight we've never done before. We
Okay.
talk about core four or Omega is really important for brain and heart, right?
Hmm. Yep.
So we have a product that people just absolutely love. I love it. It's our heart boost.
Yeah.
So we are going to offer for 1 week starting tonight, buy 2 Omega dailies and get a heart boost free. That's a
Oh,
$41 savings.
wow. That's very good.
So do you see how, and I'm gonna stop the share here for a minute, Dr. Prasad. So at Engage, I get accused of being Santa Claus, or and Robin gets accused of being the Grinch. And really, Robin is the one that makes sure I don't drive the Engage car off of a cliff because we need to
Yeah, I
we need to
know.
be responsible financially. We need to make sure the company is profitable. We need to make sure everybody's treated fairly, employees, you, Dr. Prasad, we need to make sure we take care of everybody, the affiliates. And so, man, this is where Rob and I get in big debates. And this was tonight was a situation where I want everybody to know we compromised, just like in any good marriage, any good relationship, there was give and take. And the give and take is we're not discounting Omega, but anyone that buys two, you're going to get a free heart boost. And
Good.
I'll tell you what, I love the heart boost. 2 a day, sometimes three. I love it.
I too.
Well, Dr. Prasad, is there anything you'd like to say as we get ready to give
No,
away?
I think this is very important because I don't think our people were fully aware of value of omega-3 until today.
I think you're right. I think you're right. Well, we hope that you've all caught the an understanding of how important the omega is. We hope that you can share that with people. This has been recorded. If you
Yeah.
want to share that with someone, they can watch it. And also people that are trying to save money, want to get some extra heart boost, get some omega, buy two, get one.
Yes, thank you, thank you, thank you. And
Brenda,
happy birthday.
thank you and happy birthday present to you too. Okay, so just real quick, you're wearing Engage swag. I know you love the company and products. Tell me what, if you were wishing me a happy birthday, what would you tell me is your favorite thing about Engage?
Oh, the love,
I like
the
it. I
love,
like it.
the
Thank you.
love of products, the love of people, the love, period.
Thank you. I love that. One of our values in Engage, we talk about being real, and real stands for being resilient, striving for excellence, being authentic, and being motivated by love. I have decided at this last stage of my life, at 60, you start looking at, okay, if I can get to 90 like Dr. Prasad's, I'm 2/3 of the way there, right? So I got 1/3 left. This final third of my life, I want to perfect my understanding and and my ability to love. So thank you for letting me know that we're on the right track.
Thank you. And thank you, Dr. Prasad.
Thank
God
you.
bless you both.
Thank you. Oh, it's right there.
I saw you lifting the mug. It paid off.
Yes, it did. Thank you.
Which mug do you have tonight? Excellence mug.
Excellence.
Well, that means that the quality of being outstanding or extremely good.
Yeah.
Yes.
Elizabeth, I know that you earned that mug because you are outstanding and especially good. So as a birthday present to me, tell me one thing you love about Engage.
There are too many things I love, but being a widow, I really appreciate the compensation plan.
Okay. You know, I love the fact, so Dr. Prasad gets credit for the products. I'm going to take credit for the compensation plan. I like to say that the compensation plan is my work of art. And you're right, we've created something very special with our all of it bonus, 100% commissions. And so I'm so glad that as an affiliate, you're benefiting from that for sharing health and goodness with the world. So thank you for sharing that.
And I just want to add, I have a new affiliate on, Patricia Parker. First meeting she's been invited to, she attended. That's not always the case.
Well, you know what? She's destined to be a 100 Club member for sure and help us change the definition of what it means to be a direct sales company where everyone wins. So Patricia, I can't wait for you to make Dave pay. I love it. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Good to see you.
Oh, here we go.
Michael.
All right.
I'm going to say if there's a word I can use to describe you is you always show up, sir. I love the hat and it's good to see you.
It's great to see you. It's great to be able to be here.
All right. So tell me one thing you love about Engage.
Oh man, I'll just say excellence. Like I know I'm getting excellence, whether it's with the leadership or the products and the relationships.
Well, thank you. You know, every day. So we define excellence as every day trying to just be a little bit better. So I appreciate that you recognize our efforts because I'd say every day we keep getting better. And, you know, just for everyone on the company, Engage right now is a company that is experiencing explosive growth. I mean, explosive growth. And it's because the products deliver. The business model is unique in all the world. We've created a model where everyone can win and ultimately everyone will win. That's the vision we have. And obviously, Dr. Prasad is a high standard to meet. So, Michael, thank you for calling us out and recognizing our efforts. Thank you.
Thank you, Michael.
Thank you so much for the leadership and the just great example.
You are welcome. It's the joy of my life to be here and to be a part of the Engage family. So, thank you.
Can you hear me?
We got you,
There you
Michelle. Yes.
I'm here.
Well,
Thank you very much.
congratulations. You're getting 61 reward points. Michelle, real quick, tell us something you love about Engage. How long have you been part of Engage?
Probably about 2 years.
Okay. Tell us something you love.
Just the leadership of the company and all they offer, all the help that is offered.
Well, we want to meet you where you're at. So thank you, Michelle, and congratulations. You got 61 reward points coming your way.
Thank you.
All right.
Okay, I think I just did.
We got you, Cynthia. Congratulations. Thank you for joining us tonight. And you are a winner of 61 reward points.
That's great.
Cynthia, so you're the final word tonight. What would you like to say?
Well, I'm trying to work on getting more people to join, but the points will help because to get some more GLP-1.
Okay. Well, I
Yeah.
love it. I love it. You can use those points for whatever you want. Thank you for being a part of Engage. And I see all of the people wishing me a happy birthday. I can tell you the party has begun. I got another, 5 days before the real birthday, but tonight is the beginning of the party. Last night was really the beginning of the party.
Yeah.
Thank you, everyone. Dr. Prasad, thank you so much
Yeah,
for
thank you, David.
excellence and your example. And we want to just thank you all for joining us tonight. We wish you a fantastic week. We
All right,
wish you
happy
optimal
birthday.
health. Thank you so much, and we will see you soon. So let's see here. What is the next event? We have an event on Sunday with Jonathan Jones. I know there's some other events. Look at the engaged calendar, but I will be seeing you all on the 1st of July for the next company call. So thank you, everybody.